開発コンサルタントの裏話、パデコ教育開発部がお届けします。皆さんこんにちは。ポッドキャスト開発コンサルタントの裏話へようこそ。この番組は株式会社パデコ教育開発部より国際協力の現場で活躍する開発コンサルタントのお仕事にまつわるエピソードを中心に配信しています。開発コンサルタントの仕事内容や現場の声、そしてその舞台裏などを様々なゲストとの対談を通じてご紹介します。開発コンサルタントというお仕事の魅力や醍醐味をより多くの皆さんに知っていただけたら嬉しいです。
皆さんこんにちは。今回のゲストはパデコインフラ開発部のファテメ・マスレさんです。ファテメは筑波大学の、地球環境科学の博士を持っている水のスペシャリストです。水のスペシャリストということで、今回は特に SDGs の中でもゴール6、安全な水とトイレを世界中にという、ゴールに焦点を当ててお話をしてもらいました。これまでのゲストも、プロジェクトがどのように、SDGs に貢献しているのかという話をいただきましたけれども、いつも一つだけのゴールでなく他にもいろいろ複数の SDGs のゴールが関わっているという話をしていただきました。今回も同様に、水ゴール6に焦点を当てながらも他のゴールとどういうふうに関わっているのか、どのように貢献しているのかなどをいろいろお話ししてもらいました。ではお楽しみください。
Hello everyone. So thank you for joining us today for our new episode. So today I'm really happy to invite our guest Fateme Masule from PADECO from International Development Infrastructure Department. She's a specialist in water, and so today we are going to talk about SDGs, but particularly about SDG 6, the goal 6, which is clean water and sanitation, as she's the specialist in water. Actually, she's a PhD. She's got a PhD in geoenvironmental sciences from the University of Tsukuba in Japan, and she's got quite a lot of experiences in international development projects, particularly in water sector. So today I'd love to understand and hear from her what kind of projects she's doing in the in the water sector, and in how those projects are contributing to SDGs, particularly SDG 6. So hi Fateme.
Hey, Vanessa, how are you today?
Hi, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I remember you came as a guest once in a podcast program before, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. So this time it's going to be more focused on SDGs, and in particularly SDG 6 on water. So before we move on to your own projects and how you're contributing to SDG 6, can you explain us how you see the international development in terms of the contribution to SDG 6?
Yes, it's mainly through water and wastewater projects, and it's international. So mainly in we do projects in underdeveloped countries. And when it comes to SDG 6, basically the fundamental point of the SDG in general is to represent a global agenda and bringing the countries of the world together and basically giving them a common directions and ambition. In the contents of water, the goal of SDG number 6 is the main SDG. That means providing a universal access to the basic needs of us as human, which is access to safe water and sanitation. And it's not just SDG 6, because when it comes to water, we can relate it to a number of other SDGs that they basically collaborate together in reaching the goals of the sustainable development. When we say this, for example, could be integrated policies in improving of safe water access and sanitations. It contained, for example, from mobilizing financing for improving institutions, for implementing integrated solutions, or it could be building resilience, could be investing in data, could be use of technologies and innovations. These are in other SDGs as well. So when we say SDG 6, in water sector, we can also think about pieces of other SDGs that help together to reach the SDG number 6 goals together altogether. So, sorry, go ahead, please.
No. It's really interesting, as you say, because I wanted to highlight, the SDGs are really important to connect many different goals, so we could be holistic in the approach. So that's exactly, I think you're telling here. So that's really fascinating to understand how water projects could be contributing to many other sectors to make a whole progress, and then to provide, a better quality life and environment for everyone. So yeah.
Yes, that's true. And we should also know that these the goals, even within one SDG or connection between different SDGs, are also different in different cases. For example, when it comes to like water service, maybe in what case of service providers, they need to improve their management system, or the other case they maybe are needed of innovation solutions and technology, or the other cases they need to improve their financials and their revenue. So cases by cases are also different. So it depends, for example, in PADECO's project, what our clients need to improve their activities towards the SDG 6. Yeah, for example, for revenue, I could give you an example of one of our projects that is helping our client to help their revenue and increase their revenue through different activities. And if that is okay, I can maybe start talking about one of our projects that I'm personally involved with at PADECO.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So before we move on, I wanted to say again that so now, in terms of SDGs, if it's water, is about the goal 6 mainly, right? About the clean water and sanitation. But you just mentioned actually, it's not just having, water doesn't come just like that, right? You need the whole structure, people, and the right knowledge and then implementation, the whole infrastructure behind actually. So it's also about goal 9, for example, industry, innovation and infrastructure, but also it's about, for example, could be goal 4, quality education, because you need to train people. But also by doing that, I believe that will reduce poverty. It's about the goal 1, but also, about reducing hunger, goal 2, zero hunger. The health goes through. So I think, I can go on and on and on, but I think it's really brilliant because water is really the basic of our, lives. And then it's really nice to hear from you that, as a youth specialist, saying that water project, it's not just, about the water, but it's the whole, like structure and then the basics, upon which you are going to build all the development processes. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to hear more about what kind of projects you do. And then I believe you've got some flagship project you've been doing with PADECO on water?
Yes, that's true. And also, it's very great to hear from you the numbers of the goals you mentioned. And yes, those are all directly, indirectly related to the goal 6. Even goal 5, gender equality, also is a matter in access to water.
Right.
We see it in several water projects. As for the what we do at PADECO in the water sector, I would like to talk about one of these projects, which is helping the capacity of a water service management in Palestine. It's
Palestine, okay.
Yes, it's a Grant Aid project and started from mid 2017. And in this project, we wanted to assist the municipality to provide better access to water services for the city's residents and the subscribers. This city is in the northern part of Palestine and has about 60,000 of population. And the municipality of Jenin is responsible for providing water services and water supply and also sanitation. And it does this work through its one of its departments. It's called the Water and Wastewater Department. Of course, things are not easy, so they are facing several challenges, and among one of their several challenges are their financial issues that they're facing too. Because without financial resources, how can they provide access safe water to the city's residents? So this is really, really important that they can provide enough revenue so they can improve their services, management, all these things. But where this revenue comes, this revenue basically comes from the water that they produce and flow in the network in the city, and people use and pay for it. So this is basically like a business for the municipality. So they can provide better services using this revenue. However, in the case of this municipality, their faces are that they're losing a lot of water that they produce and flow in the network for different reasons, and they're not making any revenue of this water, which could happen through maybe different ways, like leakages, through illegal connections, and through damaged water meters. This is called non-revenue water. And the city is losing this about like 60% of their water that are flown in the network. Also, the city's other challenge is the collections fee. Collection fee means when subscribers use their water, consume the water, they receive the bill on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, and they're supposed to be paying. But the payment rate in the city is also low. So on average, about 50% of the water that is billed is paid back by the customers. So that's why the municipalities is facing a lot of financial and revenue collection issues, and this affects their services and providing better access to water for the residents, which is the goal of SDG 6. So through this project and through PADECO's expert team and also experts from our partner, business partner team, we've been assisting the municipality and its Department of Water and Wastewater through different activities to improve their non-revenue water rate and their bill collection rate.
Okay, that's really fascinating. Honestly, personally, I'm in education sector, and even water is in my daily life, everywhere, anywhere. all the time. I haven't really thought about, those things. And then you're absolutely right. And I didn't know like the word, as you said, non-revenue water, how they lose water and then that could not generate income. And then it's 60% of water is lost in the system. That's really interesting to hear. But at the same time, it's a big problem. I understand why that the necessity of projects is there. And then but it's really interesting to see, you just explained actually, a project in water is about also, how to generate income. So in terms of SDGs, again, it could actually be goal 4. It's about decent work and economic growth. Again, goal 9 about innovation and infrastructure, but also actually to make sure the whole system is sustainable and then that the city plan itself is running properly. It's goal 11, for example, sustainable cities and then communities. I can't really stress enough, SDGs are really not a standalone project and concept. You need to really take into account so many aspects. But I have to confess, when I was planning to talk to you, Fatema, I was thinking about talking, mainly on goal 6 about water, clean water, but it's bigger than that. You really need to have a holistic understanding of how water provision is working and what is involved in the process. So already I'm learning a lot. It's really fascinating. So yes, could you tell us more? So what exactly you do in your project to improve that situation and then to kind of facing that challenges in non-revenue water?
Yes. As you mentioned, there are so much underground activities that
Yes.
we need to do. We just maybe look for SDGs and then a list of related items. But yeah, through these development projects, we get a good opportunity, even myself, to learn more about that, how different aspects of SDGs are connected. And through these projects, we basically we put the activities. However, we should note again, earlier I mentioned that each of these activities and SDGs are very local. We need to look at the local needs of our clients, and we need to basically customize the how to the way how to deal with these local necessities to improve the situation. So we can really come up with just a general plan how to achieve the goal of the SDG. For example, in these projects, the non-revenue water needed a lot of customized activities specifically for this case of the city to improve the situation. Even might not really much help, because then we will need other projects to come up and to improve and to assist the client to go on with their basically goals and their activities. For non-revenue water, for example, the team needed to do leak detections, or they also needed to check the accuracy of the water meter in the source, which is called source meters, and find the issues and replace them. Or they needed to check with the illegal connections. They needed to investigate the water meters that on the database are showing zero consumptions. So these come up with questions that why these meters have zero consumptions while people are living in these buildings. So these are things that need to be locally looked at, and also use of locally way of building the capacity. Different kinds of workshops, customized training on the job trainings, also seminars, materials, equipments, also needed to be provided to our clients. However, still there are issues. For example, when the water network is aged and the municipality needs to find resources, financial resources, to replace these aged water networks. Or it affects the water pressure, so they need to come up with ways to improve the water pressure in the system. So there are different ways. So when we look at each project, there are very customized ways. Also for collection of the water bills, these also need to be very customized, depends on the local need. In these projects for water collection, for bill collections, we needed to enhance and improve the customer database on their existing management information system. Also, we needed to use more of GIS for data entry, for also mapping where the customers are, and use of installations of prepaid water meters. So this was, for example, one of the solutions when people don't pay their bills, and also the country doesn't have any regulations for water disconnection, then maybe prepaid water meters could be one of the solutions which we used. That means customers pay in advance, and then once they charge their cards, the prepaid water meter cards, then the meter at home opens the valves automatically, and they can start using the water that they paid in advance. This is very good because customers pays for the water they consume. On the other hand, this helps the municipality to collect their revenue, so they can also provide access to safe water to the whole city. Basically, it's like a circulations, of the how these things, yes, the water service management helps. And also with the digitization, this could be related to SDG number 9. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. In this project, we introduced a lot of digitizations in the service management of the municipality. Like using a digital system to monitor their prepaid water meters, using of digital system to monitor and process their customer complaints, using of digital system for meter reading and billing and payments, using of digital system for processing different kinds of customer service applications, for example, for new service applications, for service disconnections, for service ownership change, different services. These were all used to be paper-based, but now at the municipality, they are, with the help of this project, they are using softwares and digital system for improving the capacity of their service management. And this, of course, cannot happen with improving of their software and IT system, with their server, with their customer data security, with the data backup systems. These all needed to be improved. So when we talk about the water, as you earlier mentioned, it's not just the SDG, one SDG, all different kinds of SDGs could be in place together and make the whole service improved. And then also people, of course, people's contributions, people's awareness of this using of this improved system all come together. But still, we facing some challenges like debt collections. So this and asset monitoring, asset repair, asset maintenance. These are still ongoing challenges that the municipality also needs to improve.
Thanks a lot. It's really fascinating, and at the same time, it sounds super complex and really heavy work, And then I was listening to you, and then I really realized it's more about, if I could say, it's a kind of system building project, capacity building project, which is in the theme of water, right? So you open the tap and then you get the water in your glass, which sounds quite, like the normal thing for us, wherever, the environment allows you, for example, where we are in Japan. But it really reminds me that it needs so many work behind, in the process. And then your project is really looking at so many different aspects, which which are really intertwined, and then like they need each other, and interdependent. It's really, really fascinating. You even mentioned in your explanation that you said, for example, SDG 9. So SDG, the goal 9 is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And then when we hear the word infrastructure, for example, we think about the hard infrastructure. But listening to your description of your project on water, actually it's not only hardware, but it's also about software, soft infrastructure and hard infrastructure. Otherwise, it's just an object, or it's just a thing which doesn't work by itself. So it's really, really it sounds really complicated, but at the same time really fascinating. And so so as you said, there's still lots of challenges going on, right?
Yes, it's still going on, which is a lot of improvement happened. And for example, now with the help of this project, their non-revenue water is improving, and also their debt collection fee has increased a lot in the pilot areas. They used to have about, on average, 50% of their fee collection, but that has increased to 93% of the water fee collection. So that's a very huge improvement. But of course, mainly it's because of the prepaid water meter installations in these pilot areas. But yes, a lot of capacity buildings, a lot of innovations, use of solutions, and even among the SDGs, we have SDG number 11, sustainable cities and communities. So, for example, when it comes to sustainability, also it's very important what kind of innovations and solutions we bring to our clients for improving of their services. So this needs to be in terms of, for example, software, something that they should be able to maintain it, to keep it, to be able to renew the licenses, to be able to repair if in terms of hardware. So yes, different kinds of goals of the SDGs comes when it comes to capacity buildings in this sector, also other sectors.
Right. It's really really impressive, actually. And then you also mentioned, like, in 5 years, over the last 5 years, over 40% of paid water, the percentage of payment has improved. So that's, I guess, a huge success for your project. And that's really brilliant. And then I guess it involves so many expertise, and also that's why, isn't it important to work with different people, different actors in our projects? PADECO is doing so many different projects in different sectors, and then sometimes we collaborate. We need so many different expertise in different areas to make one big thing, and actually it involves so many different sub themes. And so that's, I think, you really highlighted in your explanation of your project. And then thank you so much for highlighting and clarifying actually what it is to conduct a project related to water. You really enlightened me. I had no idea, honestly, but this is really, really a fascinating story. And then thanks a lot for doing that, because water is so important for our lives. It could even conduct to conflict, and if we don't have enough access to that. So I think your project is really, really important. And then so how many years left before you finish the project?
This project had been extended a few times. for different reasons.
Right.
And during the COVID, even through this project, we provided chlorine. So to the municipality during the COVID-19. So this is something I wanted to also mention. It comes to the health and that can be related to also waterborne diseases. So adding chlorine helps help the municipality. And the project will be finishing in October.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So I think this program is about SDGs and how PADECO is contributing to SDGs, and then I think your project is a really good example to remind that we can't achieve one goal by just focusing on one goal. Actually, that's why we call SDGs, right? In plural, many goals to make one, and then the big achievement at the end. So it's really you've really well kind of explore different themes, and then also explained how important it is to look at many things. Sometimes some specific areas are not mentioned in SDGs so themselves, so it's about SDGs, but at the same time it goes beyond SDGs, I guess. So thanks so much. I learned a lot today. That was really fascinating, and then really good luck with your project. I'm sure it's going to be a great outcomes at the end of your project. Thank you so much for today, and I hope to have you again, having you as a guest. Thank you so much, Fateme.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, for this opportunity. I also myself really enjoy working on this project. And hopefully things will get better with achieving our goals to SDGs 6 in all over the world.
Yeah, thank you very much. So yes, take care, and then talk to you next time. Bye then.
Sure, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
次は、パデコ教育開発部からのお知らせコーナーです。
パデコ教育開発部では、教育開発に関心のある大学生・大学院生向けに動画コンテストを開催しています。テーマは、コロナ禍の途上国における教育開発です。新型コロナウイルスは、途上国の教育にどのような影響を与え、また子どもたちは日々の教育現場でどのような課題に直面しているのか。コロナ禍でも子どもたちの学びを止めないよう、世界ではどのような支援が行われていて、これからの時代、さらにどのような取り組みが必要となるのか。あなたの教育開発への思いをぜひ動画に込めて投稿してください。なお、金賞の方には5万円、銀賞には3万円、銅賞には1万円分の Amazon ギフトカードを贈呈いたします。詳しくは、弊社教育開発部の特設サイト、世界の教育の今、もしくは padeco.education で検索してください。Education Development ショートビデオコンテストというページからイベントの詳細をご覧いただけます。応募締め切りは6月5日日曜日です。たくさんのご応募お待ちしています。以上、パデコ教育開発部からのお知らせでした。それでは次回の配信もお楽しみに。
パデコ教育開発部が送る開発コンサルタントの裏話でした。それではまた来週。